Alright, so Captain America, the Winter Soldier spoiler review. Let's dive right in right now. Let's waste no time. So the movie starts and you got Captain America on the boat kicking ass. You know, the little shaky cam problem I had, whatever, because you get to see him fight GSP as George Batroc. That scene was awesome. That was a good fight. And I could so see GSP's fighting moves. The Superman punch, the spinning back kick. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. This is epic to me because I know GSP as a fighter and he's awesome. George St. Pierre is a really good Canadian fighter and he's fighting Captain America, so I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. If you're in on it, then it's awesome, and if you don't, it's still a cool scene. Although he shouldn't have talked shit. He's like, I thought you were more than just a shield. So Cap takes his helmet off, drops the shield, and suddenly just like, alright, fuck, I want to go. Tackles him. Out. And I was like, man, maybe you should have just kept quiet. Maybe the fight would have went longer and you might have had a jaw still. You also got Black Widow in the meantime kicking ass and being sexy. Scarlett Johansson fantastic in the role as always. Her and Cap are really good in this movie. I thought it was going to become like a romance, but they actually didn't. So I wonder, is Black Widow like romantic with Hawkeye? Because I felt a little bit like that's where they were, but they're also just kind of like friends in the Avengers. Although Peggy Carter does show up again and she's all Alzheimer'd out. She's living out of the Notebook basically. Got old, can't remember anything. Oh, that was kind of sad. Just like, hey, remember her? Here's some video of her when she was young. Now look at her. She's old and can't remember. That kind of sucks. She knew who Steve was and then suddenly just halfway through was like, and reset. She reset her memory. That was hard to watch. It was just like, you're trying to make us sad. And then you get Nick Fury talking to, what was Robert Redford's Alexander Pierce. They're talking, they're old buddies, and Robert Redford and Sam Jackson just acting, and it's interesting. And then you go straight from that to Nick Fury having to have the whole car chase. He just lighting people up with a machine gun. He's got this awesome car with all the armor in it. That was a great car chase action sequence. It was fantastic. Winter Soldier shows up, and I lost my mind because in the trailer there's the part where he shoots at the grenade, kind of blows up the car and it flips. And that was cool, where he sidesteps and it just misses him. In the trailer, that was a really cool moment. In the movie, knowing Nick Fury was in that car, it changed it and added an extra layer of tension. I was just like, oh shit. Because Winter Soldier's not to be messed with. This guy, in the first 10 seconds, you see him, the music, the way he is just walking, he's all scary and intimidating, and what he does, you get that this guy's a badass and you don't mess with him. But then, thankfully, Nick Fury had a lightsaber straight from Attack of the Clones. He must have kept it with him after they finished that movie, because he just cuts a hole in the ground and makes it to Steve's house, although Winter Soldier follows him and shoots him in the chest like 2 or 3 times. And they faked Nick Fury's death. I knew it was being faked. I was just like, they're not going to kill him. I was so sure they faked it, and you eventually find out they did. So Captain America and Black Widow, they go on some espionage spy work trying to figure out what's going on. Steve has to get in that fight in the elevator, jumps out, lands with his shield on the ground. Cap on the motorcycle, which is an iconic image, although it lasts about 10 seconds, till he has to ditch the motorcycle to destroy a little plane, which was a cool little moment. And then they end up going to the old army base, and it's cool to see him kind of have flashbacks like, hey, I used to be here when I was a skinny little dude. But then you get the stupid computer scene. They brought back Arnim Zola. I don't know exactly what his name is. Arnim Zola? He was Red Skull's lackey, and he's a genius scientist, and they put his consciousness in a computer, all transcendence-like, and I just hate it. I was like, his brain's in a computer and all this, great. I did not like it. It felt out of place. It just felt weird, like it was out of a different movie. And I was like, get this crap off the screen. Because they honestly could have just went like, look in the computers and see there's all these files on S.H.I.E.L.D. But wait, what's this about Hydra? S.H.I.E.L.D. is Hydra. And they could have just did that or something. We didn't need this freaking face on it. I hated it. Thankfully they blow him up though within like 2 minutes or so that was good. And they get out of there. Then you got another action scene after they get Falcon on their side. Anthony Mackie, awesome. And they do the scene where they kick the guy off the roof and he brings him back. That was awesome because in the movie already they were killing people, they were shooting people, so I thought he's not going to talk, kick him off the roof and be done with him. I thought he was dead, so it was actually, I was surprised. Then Winter Soldier shows up, attacks their truck, and they have to run away. Gets blown up, flung into a bus and all that. The big shootout, that was intense. Winter Soldier's trying to figure out who it is, so they fry his brain with electricity. That was like, ow, God, that's gotta hurt. He's like, I know him. Alright, zap him. Then they send it back again. Cap finally figured out the whole thing. Robert Redford's a dirty bastard, burning 3-inch holes into people's sternum. They're gonna kill like 7 million people all at once with a giant They got 3 shield helicarrier things that have 1 billion guns on them. So they're going to kill 7 million people at once unless they take all the ships out. Cap gets the first one. Falcon gets the second one. Winter Soldier shows up. They have a fight. It almost felt kind of out of Star Wars when he's on the ramp and he's looking at him. For some reason, it felt out of Star Wars to me, like Luke versus Vader or something, or even Obi-Wan versus Anakin, if you think about it. You're my friend, and then no, I'm not. And he starts pounding his face in a jelly, and eventually he's just like, I won't fight you, because I'll go with you to the end of the line or whatever. And I thought Cap was like gonna fall in the water and freeze again or something. I was like, what? Is he gonna be in a coma now? What's going on? But he drags him out and leaves him half dead on the beach and walks off. They took out the whole shield thing. Alexander Pierce gets shot by Nick Fury. That's all awesome. And then we kind of get left off with 2 good scenes. You know, in Thor: The Dark World, we had 1 good scene and then a scene where he's making out with Natalie Portman. Kind of pointless for an end credits scene. Like we sat through all the end credits to see that. Oh, thanks. I thought we were gonna get something about Avengers, but no, we got that. In this, though, we don't. We get 2. I'll talk about the after all the credits scene first because it's the less interesting. You got Winter Soldier in the Smithsonian looking at the thing about Bucky Barnes, realizing that's him. So that's interesting because that'll lead into Cap 3, I'm assuming, not Avengers 2. And then you also got the scene in the middle of the credits where, I don't know who the character is, but he's got Loki's stick, the Tesseract stick or whatever. And he's also got Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch in captivity, possibly going to be used as villains in Avengers 2, though I'm pretty sure they're heroes. So yeah, that was Captain America the Winter Soldier, and that was really quick going over the spoiler material. They destroy all of S.H.I.E.L.D., you know, they take down the jets, and with it they have to blow up all of S.H.I.E.L.D. and just get rid of it, because S.H.I.E.L.D. is overrun with Hydra, so why bother keeping it around? Nick Fury goes off into hiding in Europe or whatever, trying to set up a new S.H.I.E.L.D. possibly. Black Widow, Steve Rogers, and Falcon are gonna, I don't know, hunt the Winter Soldier or something. They're just biding their time until Avengers 2. And so yeah, it's interesting. I can't wait for Avengers 2, and I can't wait for Captain America 3, and I'm really nervous that Chris Evans has to retire soon, because once he's done with Captain America movies, he's not going to act anymore. He's going to be a director, and it's like, we're losing a good actor, because as Captain America, he's fantastic. So yeah, that was a spoiler talk. Comment below, tell me what you thought of the spoiler material in the movie, because you can talk about it here. Don't talk about it in my other review. If you spoil it in the comments for somebody, that's just mean. So talk about it here. Talk about what you thought of the Arnim Zola scene in that. And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.